Coming up on KUJH, flags on the KU campus are drawing attention to Palestinian lives lost, even as activists call on to local leaders to take action.
Plus, we'll introduce you to an artist whose work depicts KU's origin story.
And we'll introduce you to some KU students who enjoy sharing their talents with a bigger audience.
Live from the studio in Stauffer Flint at the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
Good morning and welcome to KUJH. I'm Ellie Mueller.
And I'm Stella Uriarte.
As the Israeli-Hamas war rages on, the number of lives lost continues to climb, and one organization is asking local leaders to take action. Rally for Palestine, a Lawrence-based group, made their presence known at the most recent City Commission meeting. The group is calling on the city commissioners to declare their support for Palestinians and cease fire in Gaza.
International boycotts of McDonald's, Starbucks, Disney are affecting local economies. That's something that Kansans across the board care about. If my local McDonald's shuts down because it's all boycotted, then my uncle might lose his job. That's a big issue.
The commission listened to an hour and a half of public comments but declined to take action during Tuesday's meeting.
Another group has taken a different approach. The group, Free Palestine Lawrence, has created a display on campus calling attention to the number of Palestinians killed since the war began on October 7th. Members of the group placed flags on the lawn in front of Watson Library on the KU campus. Each flag represents 20 deaths. In the past month, since fighting began, more than 10,000 Palestinians have been killed, including more than 6,000 children. Signs next to the flag display ask students to take a moment of silence to recognize the lives lost and to call on Lawrence City Commissioners and other officials to declare their support for a ceasefire. This week's temperature is warm for this time of year.
It has been a pleasant surprise. Ashton, will the warm temps hang around for the weekend?
We are taking a current look outside at conditions. Behind me is Lawrence's campus. We have quite a bit of overcast for today. This is a picture of our radar right now. Here we are in Lawrence with quite a bit of overcast. Those clouds are moving very quickly as our wind gusts are up to 30 miles per hour today. Temperatures though sitting at 63 degrees and we are warming up into those mid 60s for today. Winds are coming straight out of the south. Winds are at 22 miles per hour, but the wind gusts are getting up to 35 miles per hour for today. So it will be an awfully windy day if you are walking on campus. We'll be in the 60s for today, then dropping into the 40s tomorrow, cooling off quite a bit into the 50s for tomorrow. And then coming up into the full forecast, we're going to talk about those above normal temperatures staying with us for just one more day before we cool off for tomorrow. And then we're going to look at those chances of showers for this weekend coming up in the full forecast. Back to you guys.
Thanks for the update, Ashton. Well, colder temps might be the perfect time for a cup of hot cocoa, or maybe coffee.
Scooter's Coffee is celebrating the grand opening of its newest location in Eudora, Kansas. The coffee shop opened its doors at 5:30 a.m. Wednesday morning to a line of eager customers. KUJH's Shamaria Massenberg has a story.
Midwest chain coffee shop Scooter's Coffee began construction for their new location back in September. Today, Eudora locals were finally able to support the shop at its grand opening. The store is conveniently located between Wendy's and Casey's on Church Street.
Great location, right off of K10. Awesome drinks. We're excited for it to be here.
We were really excited to come into this community. We were welcomed from the very beginning, kind of talking to the city council about where land plots might be that would be potential for our business since we do have such a small footprint on the land. And we had so much excitement from that meeting and going out and meeting the community, handing out coupons, handing out menus. People are willing to try new things and willing to give us a chance as well. I think it's really positive to see the cars coming through and seeing how fast they're able to get through. We do really focus on the amazings, our amazing quality, our amazing service, amazingly fast.
I've been waiting for them to open here. Early mom, so needing all the coffee.
It didn't take long for passers-by to notice the shop's popularity as customers continued to pull into the drive-thru. Scooter's employees from the Lawrence locations left out early this morning to help assist the Eudora employees with the anticipated crowd.
We are very excited to have a Scooter's here. We kind of needed something like this in the area for a while, and I will say my husband and I are very excited. We're probably going to be coming almost every day.
We had a lot of positive feedback, and from there we knew this was kind of where we wanted to grow our business and really be able to serve the community.
Thanks, Shamaria.
After the break, we'll show you a new art exhibit focusing on KU's hawk history.
And Ashton will have a live look at today's windy conditions.
Coming up on KUJH, we'll give you a look into a new workshop that's come to the University of Kansas.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back to KUJH.
Meg Knappenberger is a Kansas City artist and KU alumni, and now she has unveiled a bright, new 11-piece permanent collection inspired by KU's famous words, Rock Chalk Jayhawk KU. KUJH's Abby Lord introduces us to the artist and her art.
It all began with 4 iconic words and an interest in the origins of KU. After 7 months, Meg Knappenberger unveiled a new art installation called Origin Stories in KU's Welcome Center. The colorful paintings dive deep into the first years of KU and detail where all the traditions came from. Knappenberger said that this project means a lot, not only because she's an alumna, but because the topic is personal to her.
It's meaningful to me because KU has been a big part of my life, both while I was in school here and then throughout my career, and especially as I became an artist full-time and got a license with the University of Kansas. I was able to come back to campus a lot and interface with a lot of Jayhawks throughout, so it is a big part of my life.
The 3 stories, Jayhawk, Mount Oriad, and Rock Chalk, are displayed in 3 different rooms here in the Welcome Center. In this room, the Jayhawk origin story is on full display. The iconic mascot is complicated because it is not clear which type of hawk inspired the mythological Jayhawk, so she painted the 4 other birds that show the 4 stories over time. During her research, she became inspired by the first students KU ever had. For the Mount Oriad origin story, she collected walnuts from Marvin Grove on campus and used them for ink, which is the natural foundation in every piece. Knappenberger explains that she feels she has grown a lot from this collection, especially in her research.
The research component took a long time and it's all interwoven, and so the process by which I do my research evolved throughout this, and I sharpened up, some of those processes.
Knappenberger's bright colors and details tell a story that belongs to all Jayhawks. For KUJH News, I'm Abby Lord.
If you would like to visit Meg Knappenberger's art, the Welcome Center is located on Mount Oriad Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
The Kansas Union hosted a tribute to Ukrainian culture earlier this week. KUJH's Claire Decatur was there as dancers shared their talent and their culture.
So we are going to be teaching a workshop of Ukrainian folk and character dance. We're mostly going to focus on the folk aspect, which is very traditional dances that they used to dance in villages, and they're just very ancient and historical and really fun to do in the present day.
Christina Levich is the owner and artistic director of Mavka Ukrainian Dance Group in Olathe, Kansas.
This is such a large community, and I'm really excited to really bring Ukraine, and that's my whole goal of Mavka, is just to bring knowledge and just awareness to Ukraine and just all its beautiful cultural aspects.
Levich was invited to KU by KRIS, which is KU's Center for Russian, Eastern European, and Eurasian Studies.
I wanted to do more things to showcase Ukrainian culture, what makes it unique and special, and help people engage with it in a more hands-on, fun way, as opposed to just lectures, which are important, but something else that can engage more of the community.
The event was held at the Kansas Union, and the invitation was extended not only to KU students, but to the city of Lawrence as well.
I thought it looked like a lot of fun, and I really like learning about different people in our community here at KU and in Lawrence and stuff, so I figured I'd check it out.
Levich taught the class alongside her mother, Tanya, who was beyond proud that her daughter was teaching.
It makes me feel good that my kids appreciate culture that I, grew up with, and now when country is, under assault, it's even more special to preserve and to represent what Ukrainians are about.
For KUJH, I'm Claire Decatur.
KUJHNews does multiple art and dance workshops throughout the year, and they will be doing another Ukrainian dance workshop in the spring.
Lego enthusiasts gathered last weekend to put their best block building skills to the test. The competition was put on by the organization FIRST, which stands for Inspiration and Recognition in Science and Technology. The main goals of the event were for teams to compete to get to the final Lego competition in January using their skills in robotics and science, but more importantly, to help kids build real-life skills, values, and teamwork.
This is all about the skills that they're developing, having this experience, getting to meet people and use those core values.
We practice our core values and we all work together as a team to win.
6 teams moved on to the final event, which will take place on January 20th in Kansas City. This qualifying event was the first of 5 qualifying events, with the other 4 happening over the next couple of weeks.
Speaking of the next couple of weeks, Ashton Rizzo is here live to tell us if these windy conditions are going to stick around.
Right now, and even though temperatures are getting up into the 60s, upper 50s right now, the wind gusts are getting up into the 35-mile-per-hour wind gusts, so it is feeling quite chilly outside. You can just see behind me with the trees really blowing there, as you can see, and these winds are going to stay with us for most of the day, but we'll talk more about nicer weather to come this weekend. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ashton. Glad the weather is looking good for the game this weekend.
KU has no shortage of students who excel in academics as well as outside of the classroom. This includes one student who juggles being a part of 3 different bands. I got to sit down with Claire Hawkins to find out how she manages to pursue her dream and her degree.
In her second year at KU, Claire Hawkins spends her nights performing at gigs across Lawrence and Kansas City, showcasing her talent and passion on the bass in 3 different band styles.
Catfight is my all-girls punk project. And then Indra, it started from my coworker Ellie, and we just kind of started this indie poppy, even rock type band. It's hard to define Indra in a genre. But I am also a part of the jazz ensemble at KU, so through that jazz program, I've started too many little groups that I jam with and gig with to count, really.
Claire recently performed at SNS Artisan Pub and Coffee House to a crowd who enjoyed the relaxing ambiance and the improvisation of her all-girl jazz band group.
KU jazz is really where I found music people, and it's where I started gigging and just practicing and loving music. But it's fun to have a variety, I think, because then you never get bored of one type or pigeonholed into one genre. So I'll hopefully pick up bands wherever I end up too. So I'll always do music, I think.
Claire plans to continue her passion for music during her time at KU. Follow her bands Indra_band_ and Catfight_LFK on Instagram for updates on different gigs in the area.
You know, Ellie, it was so great highlighting Claire and her love for music that started at such a young age. I definitely want to support more local artists that have made a name for themselves on KU's campus. Lots more news ahead. Stay with us.
I'm Jack Dennebaum, and next up on KUJH News, I visit with the Eudora boys basketball team as they gear up for the season.
From adversity, we rose. We made history and became pioneers, voyagers, champions, Jayhawks. And when our chant rises, haunting and hallowed, Jayhawks are telling the world what's near. Victory.
Welcome back to KUJH Sports. I'm Chad Cushing. We had a crazy week in sports, so let's jump right into it. On Tuesday night, Kansas men's basketball traveled to Chicago for a matchup versus Kentucky in the 13th Annual Champions Classic. The number 1 team in the country found themselves in some early trouble under the bright United Center lights as they were down as much as 14 to start the second half. But behind 23 points from sharp shooting DeJuan Harris, a triple-double from Kevin McCullough, and 27 points and 21 boards from Hunter Dickinson, Kansas was able to rally back and defeat Kentucky by a final score of 89-84. Kansas will trade the brisk fall temperatures of Lawrence for the sunshine of Hawaii next week as they are set to play in the Maui Invitational. 4 of the top 11 teams in America will be there to greet them. Kansas will kick off tournament play versus Chaminade next Monday. Switching gears to the gridiron, Kansas football took on the Texas Tech Red Raiders at the booth last Saturday. An ugly, low-scoring affair saw the Jayhawks fall to Tech 16-13, dropping their season record to 7-3. Starting quarterback Jason Bean left the game due to a head injury in the first half and did not return. True freshman Cole Ballard stepped into Bean's role and orchestrated a game-tying drive, only for the Jayhawks defense to let Tech march down the field in just 26 seconds before nailing a field goal as time expired for the victory. Looking forward to this weekend, the Jayhawks will look to defend their home field as they take on arch nemesis Kansas State at 6 p.m. KUJH reporter Dylan Vanderveen is live outside the booth with more on Saturday's matchup.
Yep, ready.
Yeah, thanks, Chad. KU will look to get back on track this weekend after a loss to Texas Tech last Saturday. However, it will not be easy for the Jayhawks as they host in-state rival K-State. K-State has won the last 14 matchups against KU, including a 47-27 win in Manhattan last season. KU was also not reported who will be the starting quarterback. Jalen Daniels is still injured, with Jason Bean recording an injury versus Tech. However, offensive coordinator Cole Nickey did say Jason Bean took a lot of reps in practice yesterday, so we will have to keep an eye on that. KU is a 7.5-point underdog for this game, but do have home field advantage and are 5-1 inside David Booth Stadium this season. I know I'll be cheering for KU from inside the booth this weekend. I hope to see you guys there. Back to you guys.
This Sunflower Showdown matchup will be the last game at David Booth Memorial Stadium as we know it, because after the season, renovations to the stadium will get underway. As for Kansas volleyball, the 17th-ranked Jayhawks split a weekend series versus Iowa State in Ames. The Jayhawks lost the first match on Friday night in 5 sets, but bounced back Saturday afternoon, winning that match in 5 as well. Last night, the Jayhawks took on number 23-ranked Baylor Bears in Horse Finley Volleyball Arena. It was a clean sweep as Kansas won in 3 straight sets in front of a sold-out crowd. The Jayhawks will travel to Provo, Utah this weekend to take on BYU Friday night at 8 o'clock. On the high school sports side, winter sports started practice this week, and the Adora boys basketball team is looking to make it back to the state tournament for the 3rd consecutive year. KUJH reporter Dak Dinnebaum has more on the story.
Coming off a season in which they placed 4th at the state tournament, the Eudora boys basketball team is looking to replicate that success this season. But the team will look quite different this year as they will try to replace 6 seniors from last season. Head coach Kyle Dieterding says he is excited to see how this year's team will mesh together.
We're going to have to work because, like you said, we lost 4 of our starters. We lost our 6th man. Logan started and he returns, and Errol played a pretty important role. And then a couple other guys played roles throughout the year, but not consistently. So it's going to be kind of a different group, so we'll kind of see how things go.
The team has 3 seniors this year, with Logan Sullivan, Jerry Coble, and Braden Hanley all entering their final season with the Cardinals. Sullivan is coming off a junior season in which he received all Frontier League first-team honors. Sullivan says he liked what he saw from the team over the offseason and what it could mean for the Cardinals this year.
We learned a lot of new things. I mean, if we play together, we'll be really good, I think. I think we'll be able to get back to where we were last season. It'll just, first couple games, we learn and experience.
Other players returning who are expected to play bigger roles this season include juniors Errol Seaman, Connor Watson, and Ty Dieterding. Seaman says it'll be important for the juniors to step up and be leaders on the team this year as well.
It's more of not goofing off during serious times and just keep everyone on task.
No matter what happens this year, Dieterding says he will be happy as long as the team is getting better with each game they play.
It's going to be a work in progress, so I'm guessing we'll look different in February than we do in November, December, but hopefully the trend goes up and we'll see where we're at by the end of the year.
The Cardinals play their first game of the season at home against Spring Hill at 7:30 p.m. December 1st. I'm Jack Dinnebaum reporting for KUJH News.
The last time the Cardinals won a state championship was 2014. That's all the sports we have for this week. I'm Chad Cushing.
Coming up next on KUJH, I take you guys around Lawrence finding fun holiday activities for students to enjoy while on break.
Welcome back to KUJH.
The holiday season is fast approaching. Ellie, do you have any plans for the break?
I do not have plans. I'm just going back home to St. Louis.
Well, if you don't have any plans, KUJH's Ari Tata joins us in the studio with a look at some of the fun holiday events coming up in and around the local area. Ari?
As the holiday season approaches, the festivities begin. I had the opportunity to preview the Snow Globe pop-up along with visiting a local boutique on Massachusetts Street. The City of Lawrence offers several unique holiday activities for Lawrence residents to enjoy this upcoming holiday season. Snow Globe is a Christmas-themed pop-up bar and restaurant that is being held at 23rd Street Brewery this year. 23rd Street Brewery is located at 3512 Clinton Parkway and is open daily from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. The restaurant will be partnering with Snow Globe to design an assortment of Christmas-themed beverages. The venue will contain Christmas lights, holiday music, vibrant decor, and select menu modifications. The pop-up bar debuts on November 22nd. Make sure to visit Snow Globe's website and make a reservation at snowglobe-popup.com. Another festive local activity is visiting the Love of Character boutique located at 935 Massachusetts Street. The store offers several fun photo ops with specially made holiday backdrops and balloon garlands. Love of Character also has handmade accessories and ornaments for sale. The store offers bookings for birthday parties, work events, and holiday parties. The store is open daily from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Make sure to find additional information on their website at loveofcharacter.com. Make sure to book your Snow Globe reservations and head to the Love of Character website for additional information. Back to you guys.
Ellie, I will definitely be booking a reservation at 23rd Street, but despite the holiday season in full swing, I've noticed it's been surprisingly warm outside.
I have to agree with you. Ashton, what will the weather look like for this weekend?
We're taking a more regional look at our temperatures right now. They are hanging out in the 60s, 61 degrees here in Lawrence, 62 down in Ottawa, and we're going to be warming up to 64 for our high today. Partly cloudy conditions, however, though it will be a breezier day out there today. Winds coming out of the south with the wind gusts getting up to 35 miles per hour. Something to keep in mind while you're walking on campus for today. Temperatures for our afternoon looks great, hitting our high between 2 and 3 p.m. this afternoon, and then beginning to gradually cool off into our low for tonight, getting into those lower 40s, so a much cooler evening for us this evening. The winds are staying out of the south, and then the clouds are going to begin to clear out for this evening, giving us more sunny conditions there on Friday. Temperatures at 54 degrees for Friday, much cooler temperatures out of the north for our winds there. And then if you're heading out to the game on Saturday for the Sunflower Showdown game, temperatures at 3 p.m. in the 60s, clear conditions, light winds. Overall, a beautiful day out to the game. Sunset's going to be at 5:15 there on the game day, and then temperatures are cooling down into the 40s. This is a look at the future forecast. We are staying clear on Saturday. It won't be until Sunday when we really begin to see this chance of storms begin to develop over Lawrence there on Sunday, giving us a 60% chance of showers, leading into Monday, giving us a 40% chance there. This is a look at temperatures across the country for Tuesday. If you're heading home after classes on Tuesday, your travel forecast looks great. Seasonable temperatures here in the Midwest. We're in the 80s for the southeast coast if you're heading down there to head home on Thanksgiving break. This is a look at the extended forecast for us, 7 days. We're starting in the 60s for today, breezy conditions, and then we're cooling off there on Sunday. Chances of showers, and then by the start of next week we are back into the 40s, so make sure you go ahead and enjoy this temperature while it lasts.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to the nice week ahead.
I agree, Ellie. But while walking down Massachusetts Street, you're bound to see a few feline friends sleeping in store windows. Espresso Cat Cafe, the Raven Book store, these cats are loved by locals and visitors alike. They are truly local celebrities, perhaps none more so than Wonder Fair's Dave. KUJH's Grace Hills introduces us to this feline phenom.
Massachusetts Street is home to a lot of personality. Or should I say personality? Various Mass Street storefronts are home to about 10 cats. One of the most iconic cats is Dave, the orange tabby who lives at Wonder Fair.
He's just a king.
The maybe 8, maybe 9, maybe 10-year-old cat was adopted about 5 years ago and has lived at Wonder Fair ever since. What do you think about your fame, Dave? While Dave didn't have much to say, his beloved coworkers did.
My favorite Dave story is the time when we trained him to jump through a hoop, which only, took a few hours and several treats. And we made a little hoop, and we can hold it out for him and hold out a treat, and he hops through it like a little rabbit.
My favorite Dave story is him going to the shoe store all the time. He just wants to, it's his little outside time. We let him just go out there outside, and then he runs directly to the shoe store, and then has made BFFs with the people that work at the shoe store, and he just hangs out in there.
Some of the artists working at Wonder Fair created Dave merchandise, which can be found all around the store. But one special piece of Dave merchandise is his calendar.
And all the proceeds go towards the Humane Society, which is where we met Dave.
People just love him. So we didn't want to be selfish and just be the only ones that have him around.
If you want to meet Dave, head on over to Wonder Fair. But not on Saturdays, because those are usually his day off.
For KUJH, I'm Grace Hills.
Well, that's all we have for this week.
But come back next Thursday for some more KUJH news.
And a reminder to keep up to date with the KUJH on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as visiting our website at tv.ku.edu.